Ordinary guys doing extraordinary things. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row, and Callaway.
It's Trilby Tour time, week 8, and no prizes for guessing where we are. Another 120 players are looking for more Trilby Tour glory.
Whiskey Hotel 1, you are cleared for landing.
And what a stage we've got for them to play on. Like this place needs an introduction. Welcome to Goodwood.
Last week at Sleeve Russell, Trilby Tour history was made and a king was deposed as Tom Muldoon established himself as one of the leading Trilby Tourians of all time. Legend John Lynch came to defend his crown but walked away empty-handed as Muldoon made a record-breaking third playoff final and at last won a title, the Trilby Tour Championship of Ireland, and didn't he love it? It's back to the south of England this week to the multifaceted venue that is Goodwood as another 120 golfers do battle for a place at the international final at the Buckinghamshire Golf Club. It's a chance to see something different from Goodwood as golf takes centre stage with the Trilby Tour Championship of Sussex up for grabs on the stunning Downs course. A course that just happens to be home to the reigning Trilby Tour International Champion, the big man Chris Dyson, looking to add a regional title to his list of honours. We talked to Chris about his year as the champion later in the show. As always, Shot of the Day is there for the taking, and we'll bring you up to date on the top 10 qualifiers who booked their places at the international final. And with only 30 places left to claim at the Buckinghamshire come the end of the season, competition was fierce here in Sussex. And talking of fierce, this week's 4-man 3-hole winner-takes-all playoff was a belter. We'll have full highlights coverage of the ding-dong shootout for the Trilby Tour Sussex title. And where would we be without our weekly visit to Rogues Gallery? I can honestly say that without doubt, the Goodwood contingent really went to town in their homage to the Blob. All of that to come in a packed show this week, but before we get the golf underway, let's hear more about a venue that most of you watching this programme will have heard of, but for various reasons. A venue whose rich golfing heritage and effortless class make it a perfect stage for the Trilby Tour. Here's Golf at Goodwood's General Manager Stuart Gillette to tell us more.
It's that tournament feel, and it really feels like that today. And I can see how and why so many people are enthralled with the Trilby Tour and keep coming back for more. And I think it's interesting to see how many older chaps like myself have given up sort of cricket and rugby and football and are now deciding that actually golf is the way forward. And it's good to see, 120 guys playing with their caddies to experience what we've got to offer. We've got about 1,800 members across both courses. And it sort of appeals to everybody. We have a dog membership as well, so we encourage dogs on the course, and it's sort of based on golf for all, I suppose. Very flexible, not too many rules, certainly no stuffiness. I don't think anyone comes here and it feels out of place. So it's just all part of what we're trying to achieve. Golf at Goodwood in its current inception was formed about 6-7 years ago. We want to bring people here to Goodwood to experience what we can offer from a golfing perspective. Goodwood is sort of world famous for motorsport, racing, the aerodrome and the house and various other things, and maybe golf doesn't quite get the exposure that some of the other areas of the estate does. People aren't sure what to expect when they get here. The course is a downland course. People aren't too familiar with that. Essentially we're at the edge of the South Downs here, so the first 4 or 5 holes are in through a valley, and then you go up onto the downs with fabulous views of Chichester Cathedral, the Solent, the Isle of Wight, and it's I suppose a little linksy, but some up and down holes, but quite spectacular, to be honest with you. And I think that for those people that haven't played here before are quite surprised with what they see. It's a really tough challenge, and the scores are proving that. And I think Goodwood is slowly becoming a golfing destination for people. So as people sort of leave, I think they will have hopefully all had a good time.
Thanks, Stuart. Now, here are some people that definitely had a good time. The first of our top 10 qualifiers for the international final. Tied for 10th on 30 points, Mike West was on his way.
6.
The Bristol Golf Club man not talking to his dog, I hasten to add. And joining Mike right on the cut was young Joe Swan, the Wickham Park man, making it 2 players through from Goodwood. Some deft chipping is a must here at the Downs course, and this week's coolest named player, Cameron DeBuck, was able to produce. The Leatherhead Golf Club star tied in 8th on 31 points, with dreams of possibly matching his fellow clubmate Charlie Lydiard's Trilby Tour win at the international final back in 2009. And alongside Cameron on 31 points, also in 8th place, was Woodlands Manor golfer Andrew Wells, joining a growing list of Manor boys that just keep qualifying over the years. Now, in 2010, after watching the Trilby Tour on Sky Sports, Chris Dyson decided it was time to take on the challenge. He made the playoff at the park, missing a 2-foot putt to win, eventually losing out to Gary Barton. But when he made the top 4 at the international final on the last day of the season, well, the rest is history. Here's the big man to tell us more.
I think watching it back on the TV was quite something. I mean, very emotional again, I have to say. Looking at some of those shots, and thinking I actually played them, which was really good. And again, as I said back then, I mean, it's something you see on the telly, and then the next thing you're actually there and you're doing it yourself. And to have, held my game on the day, and I hit some shots which today I'm still very proud of. And I suppose that's probably my highlight of actually the Trilby Tour from last year. And then since then, it's been great fun with being the champion. It's been really great to have all that support and people wanting to shake your hand and say what a great job you did. Yeah, I've been recognised in a few places. It's been quite funny, different golf courses I've turned up at, and people said, you, Chris Dyson, you're the big man. It's been good fun to get a little bit of celebrity status. Yeah. Obviously, the first thing is I want to be able to turn up and put in a good performance, and prove it wasn't just a one-off, the best game I had last year. I mean, it was a very good game, but I practice a lot. I really focus on my game, and really, as I said last year, it's about making sure that when I turn up, I give it my best effort and I don't make a fool of myself on the telly. And with obviously the notoriety of being the champion, it's important that, for my own well-being, that I play well and, don't make a complete fool of myself. And I don't want to let myself down. I want to prove that I can do this and it wasn't a one-off. So that's probably my number one priority, is really to, put a good account in because I'm champion. Yeah. I'm a great fan of what William's created. I think the format is really impressive. The way that you play your 18 holes at Stapleford and then you have to actually go out and do it again in the playoff, it gives us the best opportunity to feel like a tour player. And I know a number of people have said it, but to be honest, until you've actually been in that tee box in the playoff, you don't understand how close to what you watch on TV it is. I have been to a number of tour events where it's not so well put together and signed as it is here, and I think it's great credit to William and his team for the way he's created such a niche competition for amateurs, and all I can do is thank him for creating it and giving me the opportunity to play in it.
A dramatic and emotional victory last year for Chris, but will it be as special today here at Goodwood? We'll let you know how the reigning champion played on his home track a little later on. Back to the action now. Goodwood promised to deliver absolutely everything, and it did. A storm front moved in by mid-afternoon, bringing the biggest downpour ever seen on the Trilby Tour. Those players that had completed 18 made full use of the grandstand, while the Trilby Tour and Goodwood teams combined to ensure the Downs course stayed playable. The bar was raised in terms of the top 10 to 32 points for even a sniff at the playoff. Another shootout situation was established, and Daniel Haggerty booked his place on that. Joining him there, Kevin McCann from the Stoneham Golf Club, and things were getting crowded. Even more so when Daniel Westhorpe fired a 32-pointer to make it a three-way tie in fourth place, the Whalley Park man looking very cool and calm on the day. And playing through the worst of the weather, Cowdrey Park's Alex Stoner battened down the hatches to join the others on 32 points, leaving 4 men to go via the shootout for the one remaining playoff place. The top 3 places on the leaderboard with a route direct into the playoff were claimed by these guys. Margate's Darren Burton, a greenkeeper from the North Foreland Golf Club, shot a superb 33 points with golf like this, although an attack of butterfingers nearly cost him everything on the last green. And what is it they say in Margate? Darren, you lucky, lucky boy. In a share of second with Darren and making it a record-equaling third Trilby Tour playoff was the man himself. Chris Dyson's local knowledge came in handy on his way around the Downs course, and he must now surely go into the playoff as favourite for the Sussex title.
Really hard work though.
And last but not least, another man with Trilby Tour playoff form. Classy left-hander Andy Jones lost out to Trevor Taylor in the top 4 shootout at Murray's Hall last year, and he was back with a vengeance here at Goodwood with a top score in regulation of 36 points. A great effort around this tricky track from the Kings Hill Golf Club man. So Andy Jones, Chris Dyson and Darren Burton were directly through to the playoff. West, Swan, DeBuck and Wells all booked their places at the international final. But it was an uncertain future for Haggerty, Westhorpe, McCann and Stoner as the shootout beckoned. And with it, the biggest slice of Trilby luck we've seen this year, to rain on 3 out of 4 parades. Sometimes the golfing gods just smile on you, and with Daniel Westhorpe on the green and bound for the playoff, this happened to Alex Stoner. A fortuitous step toward his top 4 destiny, but frankly my dear, Alex Stoner didn't give a damn, and he was off to join Darren Burton, Andy Jones and Chris Dyson in the winner-takes-all playoff for the Trilby Tour Championship of Sussex, coming right up after the break. Stay with us on Sky Sports.
The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with Callaway. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row.
Welcome back. It's time for the playoff for the Trilby Tour Championship of Sussex. 4 men, 3 holes and only 1 winner here on the Downs course at Goodwood. It's time for the lads to take to the tee. Andy Jones, Darren Burton, Alex Stoner and the reigning Trilby Tour international champion Chris Dyson on his home track. And to tell us more about this opening playoff hole, let's hear from the Golf at Goodwood general manager Stuart Gillette.
17th, which is a 180-yard par 3. Couple of small ponds on the right hand side, tight bunkering both sides, playing into the wind today. Players are tending to come up short, but that brings the water into play, so hopefully the guys that are teeing it up in the playoff will remember that and take plenty of club.
Here we go, and the first man to tee it up, appearing in his second Trilby Tour playoff and only the second southpaw to make top 4 in 2011. It's Andy Jones.
My name's Andy Jones. I'm 50 years of age. I'm a member of Kings Hill Golf Club and my handicap is 6. My day job is we're taxi proprietors in Tunbridge Wells. My interests outside of golf are mainly art. Without doubt my golfing hero is Severiano Ballesteros. I'd have to say Severiano Ballesteros is also my sporting hero. football team I support is Manchester United. Generally my strengths on the course is probably my putting. My weaknesses on the course is my chipping. My thoughts going into the playoff are to try and keep a cool head and keep my eye on the ball.
And he missed out at Murray's Hall in the 2010 Championship of Scotland. Can he make it happen here today at Goodwood? A little left, the ball, not Andy, but on this tricky hole, that will do nicely.
Darren Burton.
Complete with his fan club, next man up, Darren Burton, a man on a mission and coming into this playoff with what has to be described as a swagger.
My name's Darren Burton, I'm 25 years old. I'm a member and greenkeeper of Northumberland Golf Club in Margate, and I played off 4 today. Outside of golf, generally there's not much more, it's just generally greenkeeping and golf. Golfing hero's got to be Ian Poulter. Sporting hero has to be the Sevi. And my football team's Chelsea. My strengths on the course, generally my long game is very good. Weaknesses on the course, I would say chipping, maybe a little bit of mind games. I think I've got a very good chance of winning. It's anyone's game.
Come on, Darren, leave the cliches to the commentators. We got nothing to say now. Mind you, he'll be sick as a parrot with that tee shot. He almost needs no introduction, but if you have been hiding away these past 12 months, it's time for Chris Dyson, the reigning Trilby Tour champion, to tee it up.
My name's Chris Dyson, I'm 43 years old, I'm a member here at Golf Goodwood and my handicap is 5. My day job, I'm the head of supply chain for the European region for Nokia Siemens Networks. Interests outside of golf, I'm a keen sailor and also very much enjoy my skiing. My strengths on the course, I think, are my iron play. I think I strike the ball quite nicely, and probably my mental side. I'm quite good at keeping focused when I play. I think everyone in the Trilby Tour knows my weaknesses. It can be my putter. Golfing hero, as I was growing up, was definitely Nick Faldo. But obviously as we move on, I think everyone's got to look at Rory and say what a fantastic young man. And his win at the US Open was amazing. The hole behind me is my nemesis. It's going to be our first playoff hole, our 17th in normal play, and I have to say, when that ball gets on the green, I'll be a very happy man.
So just weeks left on his reign as the champion of champions, and this playoff an ideal warm-up for the defence of his title at the Buckinghamshire Golf Club. Chris Dyson will indeed be a happy man after that tee shot. Last man to the tee, it's the tree hugger himself. Alex Stoner bounced it off a very friendly oak in the shootout to make the big show. Let's hear from the man himself.
My name is Alex Stoner, I'm 43 years old, I play at Cowdray Park Golf Club and my handicap is 5. I own my own landscape gardening business. Outside of golf I enjoy cricket and shooting, a lot of clay pigeon shooting mainly. Golfing hero would have to be Severiano Ballesteros, without a doubt he was brilliant. Sporting hero, difficult one, probably Graham Hill, racing driver. I don't support football, I'm a cricket man, so I support Sussex. Strengths on the course I would say short irons, wedges and things into the green, getting it close to the pin. My weakness on the course I would have to say is my putter. I'm looking forward to it. I didn't actually expect to get to the playoff. I expected to get into the top 10, or would hope to have got into the top 10. Just missed out last year. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this. I'm the underdog, I think.
The last man away at the first playoff hole. And that is going right. Oh, the man's a regular David Bellamy, I tell you. Tee to tree though, and he looks safe. Now, I've always wanted to say this. We're off and running at Goodwood. Once again, alongside me in the commentary box, Matt Woods, and how about that for a start?
Yeah, thanks very much, Simon. Before we get on to the exciting venue and the exciting golf ahead, look at the slice of luck 2 players have had just here. Bouncing off the tree and finding the path in between the 2 water hazards. Now Stoner needs to make sure he strikes the ball correctly here. Looks to have executed that beautifully. Great shot. Even managed to get a little bit of check spin at the end.
Well, he says he's good at chipping. Does what it says on the tin. And look at this, a Jean van der Velde moment.
But he's pleased he put those socks on this morning.
Well, he's from Margate. He's used to rolling up the trouser legs and dipping the toes in the water. But this is a tricky stance here for Darren Burton.
Yeah, he's got his left foot in the hazard, and that's going to be well below the level of the ball. So even more important that he finds a strike this goes wrong, this is his playoff over.
Oh, wow.
A fantastic shot there.
Well played, Darren Burton, as cool as you like as well after that one. Tricky start, but he's got himself out of trouble. But Chris Dyson on the hole that he says is his nemesis, well, he's played it rather well, and he'll fancy this putt.
Yeah, just short of the green in 2. A lot of swing off the left-hand side. Just got to get it up that slope there. Looks to have hit this a little too firm.
Yeah, and the Trilby Tour champion of champions, not quite getting that one right.
Andy Jones in the driver's seat, taking the position of early favourite. This putting is one of his strengths. And none of the other 3 players that close, so great opportunity to really lump the pressure on the other 3 players. Pace all important. Oh, and another one just a little heavy-handed.
Yeah, they all made it up the slope, but unfortunately it trundled on, and really we're back to even Steven now. Darren Burton, having got himself out of a very tricky situation, shoes and those wonderful socks back on.
Putt that will move off the right hand side. Got to be looking about 18 inches right here. A lot of swing to the left as we've seen, and again another heavy handed putt. What's really impressed me early on in this playoff is how aggressive the players are. Everybody's up for the challenge. It's going to be an exciting 3 holes.
Now then, Chris Dyson for par on a green he knows very well, and that must give him some advantage.
Oh yes, fantastic looking putt there, very confident start. A man who's looking very comfortable in his surroundings.
He does indeed. We saw him doffing the Trilby on the first tee, and now we see the Dyson punch. Look at that. We've got an early leader. Level par then for Chris Dyson on a hole that he doesn't favour. And the punching continues. He's a happy man.
Now Stoner, this is back down the hill. This is going to be a quick putt. Should move a little off the right hand side. Got to be careful.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they're going in from everywhere.
Well, we saw the fist punches from Chris Dyson, but not a knockout blow by any means. And Alex Stoner becomes a joint leader alongside Chris Dyson. So the 2 men playing off 5, looking solid.
Jones back up the slope. This will move just off his left-hand side. Good putt for the left-hander. Oh, and another aggressive attempt, but just slightly under-borrowed. So a little tidying up to do to make his 4. Interesting play off this. 2 par 3s. Anything can happen, and probably will.
Oh, it's tough for Jones, as you said, Matt. All the players being aggressive and bold, but unfortunately for Andy Jones it hasn't quite worked out. But no real damage done. +1, heading to the 2nd playoff hole. And our man from Tunbridge Wells looking reasonably well placed. Now Darren Burton to join Jones on +1.
Yeah, and this is just drilled into that nice 3.5 feet range, giving this full concentration. Good stroke. Another one that hits the back of the hole.
No shots for anyone in this week's playoff, so putts like that really count. It's a blistering start to this playoff for the Trilby Tour Championship of Sussex. We're going to take a break now to get our breath back, but there's more action coming right up here on Sky Sports. Stay with us.
The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with Callaway. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row.
Welcome back to golf at Goodwood and the playoff for the Trilby Tour Championship of Sussex. It's a very close run affair thus far, but the 2nd playoff hole might just sort the men from the boys. Here's General Manager Stuart Gillette with his take on the challenge ahead.
2nd playoff hole is the 18th on the Downs course here, which is a 460-yard par 4. Tight off the tee, bunkers left and right, so the player needs to take driver to get far enough up the fairway, but that obviously brings the bunkers into play. So the drive is key, and then the second shot into a tight green, closely guarded by bunkers. It really it's a tough par 4 that both first and drive and second shot one needs to think about, and a tricky sloping green provides normally a tough finish to the course.
Yes, under normal circumstances the closing hole, but sandwiched between 2 par 3s. This is quite an interesting demand, Matt.
Yeah, 460 yards, going to play every inch of that today. Imperative these guys get a good tee shot away, and I'm fearing that's left.
Oh, it is. Oh, clatters into the trees. That's been a theme today. Temperature has dropped quite dramatically. We've moved into the latter part of the evening now, so the ball isn't going to travel as far. Alex Stoner next to the tee.
Joint leader with Dyson. Great opportunity for him if he can find this challenging fairway, but I think that's gone right. Maybe a reaction to Dyson's tee shot.
Next on the tee, Andy Jones, +1.
Well, nobody anywhere near hitting the fairway at the moment. One left, one right. And Andy Jones, only the second left-hander incidentally through to a Trilby Tour playoff this year. Just one shot off the pace at the moment for the man that made the playoff at Murray's Hall in 2010, and he's gone left, following Chris Dyson into the trees.
Next on the tee,
and those two boys are going to have to hope for a bit of luck.
It's an out-of-bounds fence down there on the left-hand side. I think they're just inside of that.
And listen to that support for Darren Burton, travelling with the Margate Barmy Army, wife Steph and the fan club. There's Steph in the pink Trilby. Everybody putting the Trilbies on for the day out, and at the moment watching Darren do very well indeed.
If he can compose himself, find a good swing, he's absolutely ripped that up the middle, and he's off. Look at him, there's some determination in that stride.
That's wonderful stuff. What a tee shot, and what a dramatic way to leave the tee. Darren Burton marching off down the fairway and in very good shape. So off they go to see how they lie, and for Jones, Dyson and Stoner it's going to be a case of taking the rough, well, with the rough I'm afraid, while Darren Burton has sole ownership of the smooth. Jones out and about and back in play. Dyson looking like he's done this sort of thing before, also back on the fairway. And Alex Stoner has probably seen enough trees today to last him for the rest of the season. No damage done though, and he advances his ball towards the green. Well, Matt, massive chance for this young man to stamp his authority on the playoff.
Yeah, split the fairway with his tee shot. He's left himself about the 160, 170 mark into this slopey green. If he can just find the surface. Good rhythm to that. A fraction left, but just going to catch that left edge, and beautiful spin control. Going to leave him some 25 feet for birdie, and he's really starting to enjoy himself now.
Cool as you like, on the green in regulation. So Darren Burton looking good. Chris Dyson getting himself out of the woods and needs to be accurate with this one.
Yeah, important he finds the middle of the green here, doesn't want to compound an error with an error.
Oh, look out, incoming.
Oh, nearly taken out our camera operator.
Well, it shouldn't be too bad for Chris, but his problem is the fact that Burton is on the green. And Jones, rather like Stoner and Dyson, same demand. This has got to be good.
He really needs to get it inside Burton's ball, put the pressure back on him, because at the moment, he's having this second hole all his own way.
Well, the news is that Jones isn't in the sand. He's just off to the edge of the bunker. Not that that's particularly good news. Stoner then.
Good angle in. Just going to find it difficult to get some control on this ball out the semi-rough. Expect to see it release when it lands. That's what it's done. It's going to leave him an interesting putt. A lot of swing off the left-hand side there.
And Darren Burton, the only man on the fairway, now finds himself the only man on the green. He's got to make this count. He's got to cash in. And for Dyson, Stoner and Jones, damage limitation here.
Yeah, played that nicely. Anything inside 12 feet's a great shot from there, and that's what he's done. Just needs to calm himself down.
Does look a bit deflated, doesn't he? I think he came into this playoff probably still full of the memories from 2010 and and becoming the Trilby Tour Champion of Champions.
Yeah, and it's an arena he's comfortable in now. He's been in this to be his third playoff. This putt here off the left, a lot of swing, quite quick at the end. It's just going to trickle out to that nasty 3 or 4 feet. And talking of work to be done, Jones here, little chip off the right hand side. Doesn't list this as one of his strengths, but needs to dig deep, needs to find something. Just try and chuck it up on the edge and just let it release down. He's played that wonderfully. Early applause from the gallery, it's got a chance. Just catches that right hand edge.
Great effort and an animated response from Andy Jones, but once again, a man with work still to do in terms of the putting, and it really is playing into Darren Burton's hands here.
Yeah, now Darren won't feel like he's hit a shot for 10 minutes, but pace, the all-important bit. A lot of undulation in this green. This is going to be a slow putt back up the hill. Needs to get going. Was that a golden opportunity wasted? Right in the jaws, and just a roll and a half short.
Well, we've had it all at Goodwood today. We've had the rainstorms, we've had the drama, we've had the excitement, and that's all been transferred now into this playoff. Darren Burton then holes out to stay at 1 over and become our new leader. Can anyone join him?
And has he ever made a more important par than that one? Time will tell. Dyson for bogey. Will have learnt a lot off Darren's putt, so he knows it's uphill and firm. Oh, got the pace. Just fractionally misread the line.
And Matt, this sort of arena, is this anything you've experienced in your professional career?
Only at the biggest events. I mean, this is something new for most of these guys. Obviously Dyson's experienced it and come away a winner. But TV cameras and a gallery and your friends and family watching on brings a whole different feeling of pressure.
They seem to be coping with it very well, and we do have a change on the leaderboard. Chris Dyson has moved to 2 over, and he's joined by Andy Jones at 2 over, so a share of second place for them. But Alex Stoner, last to putt on this second playoff hole green, has an opportunity to join Darren Burton as the joint leader.
Yeah, just his 3.5 feet back up the hill, can afford to be aggressive.
And there we go, job done. I think Alex Stoner just maybe thinking a little bit too much about that hole and what could have been. Probably got to focus on the positives as he heads towards the third and final playoff hole. He's joint leader with Darren Burton.
The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with Callaway. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row.
Welcome back to the Downs course here at Golf at Goodwood. Just a bit of fun with our cameras behind the final playoff hole in the Trilby Tour Championship of Sussex. Not much fun up on the tee though. The pressure is fully on. It's still anyone's title, and before joint leader Darren Burton tees off, here's Stuart Gillette once again to tell us about this last hole.
Third playoff hole is the first, which is adjacent to us here. 185 today, probably playing with the pin at the back about 195 into a slight breeze. I think the tricky aspect today is the crowd and the structure behind the green. I think you can see it just behind me. There's plenty of people there, and I think it really epitomises what the Trilby Tour is about. The guys will stand on there, having to hit a sort of 3-4 iron. Into the wind with William waiting for them on the green, which is always a daunting prospect.
I think Stuart is enjoying this, the pressure that has been created for the players, but wonderful touch by Goodwood to put the grandstand at the back of the last hole. And once again, a par 3 drama to end all dramas. Darren Burton got himself into the lead here.
Yeah, golf swing all of a sudden looks very committed.
Oh,
it's a bit steery on the first, but he's found his mark now. Beautiful shot. Tough to get it back to this back flag. Green measures 37 yards long. And getting to the end of the day, as we said earlier, the ball doesn't travel quite as far.
Stoner, joint leader of 5, knows this Goodwood track very well. Also a member at Cowdrey Park. And again, a nice contact, just drifting though.
Should just catch the right edge. God, another yard and that would have fed down. And that really underlines my point earlier about how tough it is to get it back to this back flag with a green of this length. That's almost 3 clubs difference from the front to the back. So will have Andy Jones learnt anything from that?
Left-hander shot off the pace, so he knows this needs to be right on the pin. Oh, hello, Cozy.
Yeah, and that's going to give Alex Stoner a great read. An important moments here in this playoff. Now, Chris Dyson needs to find some magic.
And the door is open.
Yeah, there's only one shot in this. Mustn't forget how close and how tight this playoff is.
And what about this Dyson swing, Matt?
Yeah, a little short backswing. Does get the club face a bit shut. It's always fighting it going left. I think that one's heading in that direction. Needs a friendly bounce. Oh, nearly got it as well.
Well, right on cue. Dyson goes left, just wide of the target, but I tell you what, this is still wide open, and if anybody can stick one in from distance, they will still be in the mix. Andy Jones then is going to give a wonderful read to Alex Stoner with this putt, but if he doesn't hole it, I'm afraid that is Andy Jones' second Trilby Tour playoff over and done with. Another fine effort from him, but I'm afraid the left-hander is out of luck today.
Dyson with this little chip from the left-hand side. Going to be quite quick. It's going to have a lot of swing from his left-hand side.
He too has to hold this.
Oh, good effort, just lacking in pace.
And for our reigning Trilby Tour champion of champions on his home track, a magnificent challenge has come to an end. So Jones and Dyson look to be on their way out of this tournament.
Now Stoner will have learnt a lot from Jones's putt. Double breaker, will swing to the left early and then heavily back to the right at the end of the putt. Pace all important, and hello. Oh, great attempt. Great attempt. Had a cheeky little look across to Darren there.
I think it was, you know. I think he knows where the challenge is coming from. So Stoner to roll this one in. There he goes, and with that putt, waves goodbye to Dyson and Jones. Alex Stoner is our leader, but Darren Burton can snatch it all away from him.
Yeah, interesting moment here. What do? Cozy it up to the edge and try again in a playoff, or go for it?
We've had this conversation before.
Oh, what a good stroke, he loves it. Just moving back off that left-hand side. Good putt, great pace there. I would say that was the right thing to do.
This then to join Stoner, and there we go. Burton and Stoner, and Burton's fan club incidentally, are heading back to the tee. We're going to do it all again. And away we go, back down the last playoff hole. Burton followed by Stoner.
Just needs a carbon copy of his tee shot 5 minutes ago. He found the flow to his swing, every shot looks very committed now. Oh, Darren Burton, were you paying attention earlier? That's exactly where Jones and Stoner were in regulation.
A bit too much, I think, for wife Steph in the pink Trilby and the fan club. Hoping against hope that Darren can claim it this time around, but I think Alex Stoner will have other ideas. The only other man left in this playoff. Oh no, problems.
Right, going right. Plenty of trouble down there.
Asked if he wants to hit a provisional and says no. If he can't find it, that's it. Brave stuff. And I wonder if Darren Burton heard that.
I don't know, Darren Burton's head down, he's concentrating. He's desperate to go and ask him about his putt. So, mate, how did your putt go in regulation? Little off the left, was it? No, good news, we found the ball, tough shot, out the long grass, got to fly it over the bunkers, must get it inside Burton's ball.
Sit.
Got to make him putt first.
Sit down.
Well, from there, that's a really good effort from Alex Stoner. He knew it was going to move on to the back of the green, but at least he's making Darren Burton work for this one.
Now we'll see how much attention he was paying. As we've seen, double breaker will move to the left early, then a lot of swing back to the right. Looks to be aiming a little too far right for me. I don't think he was paying attention, and this is going to swing right. And that's going to leave him about 6 feet.
Right little game of patience going on, and if he just remembered from earlier, he would have had a clue about that putt. Alex Stoner needs to hold this to make things tricky.
No, if Stoner can hold this, we're after the car headlights, because it's now getting very dark and murky. A lot of break off the left, needs to go. It's going to leave him 2 feet for a 4. Burton has a 6-footer to take the title.
And under these circumstances, that is not easy. And Alex Stoner, although he looks upset, although he's gone into black and white, and we know that potentially means his day is done, this is not over. And Darren Burton has got an absolute knee knocker to win this title.
Just taking his time, just confirmed his read with his caddy, just composing himself, as wife Steph's trying to do.
You could hear a pin drop. It's tough to play in these situations, but sometimes tougher to watch loved ones go through it. Darren Burton, this for the title. Oh, it took its time, but in it goes, and what a cheer from the fan club. Darren Burton claims the Trilby Tour Championship of Sussex, our 8th regional champion of the season, and what a day of golf here at Goodwood. What a conclusion to the playoff. Just 2 regional championships left now, and that means only 20 more places up for grabs at the international final. From golf at Goodwood, we head to the rolling splendour of the Oxfordshire next week, then Marriott Sprowston Manor for the last week of qualifying before the big one at the Buckinghamshire Golf Club. And don't forget your weekly Monday night Trilby Tour tea time, Sky Sports, 10 p.m. It's Trilby's after Margate's finest. Darren Burton is this week's winner. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you the Trilby Tour Champion of Sussex.
I'm ecstatic. I knew I was playing well, and I've done it today, and I'm chuffed to bits. I'm so proud of myself.
Did you honestly think, though, when you rocked up here today, that you'd be talking to us now as the winner?
Not as the winner. I did fancy myself to qualify, and whilst I was out there, I felt everything was going well.
Now, tell us about your thoughts on that return to the 18th for the sudden death.
I felt it was mine to have. I knew I was first off on the tee, and just put the pressure on. It's exactly the same shot, straight in with a 4-iron.
Heart in your mouth as the ball did a little loop.
Yeah. I can't lie. I was so pleased to see that go in. I'm a proud golfer, proud father, proud husband. I'm delighted. I just want to go and give the wife a hug. Yeah, Steph. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. That one's for you, Sky. That's my daughter.
Brilliant.
Yeah, same thing, yeah.
Well, congratulations, guys. Absolutely fabulous. Well done.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And from one winner to another, the Downs course was guaranteed to yield some quality this week, and for shot of the day, Gary Bradley was only too pleased to oblige with this near hole-in-one. Everything but with that shot. Well done, Gary Bradley. He takes shot of the day. And from shot of the day to this collection of golfing ne'er-do-wells in Rogues Gallery. And what an exhibition we have for you this week. Bunkers and putting, the enduring theme. As always, no names, no pack drill to protect the innocent, but you and all those around you in the clubhouse right now know who you are. A stroke of genius next. Told you. Now, straight out of the coaching manual, this one. If at first you don't succeed from the sand, simply batter the next one as hard as you can. Oh, unlucky. Rogue/Bandit next, using Alex Stoner's patented tree to green method. Whatever next. Oh, don't brag about it. And on to this week's putting identity parade now, with some serious criminal activity to report. And I just love this next one. Packed grandstand, caddy giving it the full brolly treatment. This for the Championship of Sussex. Oh, genius. Again, the lure of the sand, too strong. And finally a shot that has to be seen to be believed. Trust me, it's well worth the wait. Stay with it. And there we go. What a stunning debut for Goodwood, but sadly another dramatic day of Trilby Tour golf must come to an end. Here's William.
Probably some of the best golf we've had. It's well worth hanging on to see. Darren Burton, what a player. Strikes the ball incredibly well. Superb day. Great players. Chris Dyson couldn't hang on because there was a few guys looking at him. But what was amazing was the support that Darren got. We've never had a champion get a cheer like that, and that made my day really. Next week we're off to the Oxfordshire for another repeat performance down there. They now have to put the tournament on, and I can't wait to get there.
As William says, next week the tour heads back to familiar surroundings as the Oxfordshire takes centre stage. That's all from Golf at Goodwood for this year. Congratulations to this week's champion, Darren Burton. For more information, go to www.williamhunttrilbytour.com. We'll see you next week.
Ordinary guys doing extraordinary things. The Trilby Tour is brought to you in association with William Hunt, Savile Row, and Callaway.